Is it working? Maybe. Oh no, it's still the American thing. Jeez, that's not what I wanted to watch. But no, so everyone's gone out. I want to watch TV, but I don't want to watch the American election. Damn, so maybe I won't watch TV. Maybe I'll just make dinner and then... Oh, okay, no, at 7 they will actually play the news. Except that it still says USA votes, and I don't really care. Alright, well, first things first, I'll just keep it on mute. And we'll see if they actually get to any news, because I'd like to know the news, not what's going on in America, like what's going on here. Anyway, so here we are in the kitchen. I haven't shown you the kitchen renovation. Maybe I'll make a video. I did start making a video about that 2 years ago. Is there rice in it? No. Okay, so they've left me all alone. Everyone has gone out to dinner. Yeah, no, so I was gonna watch the news, but it's just American garbage and like, but no, I've got to make food. But Hope's alarm will go off soon, so like, I guess I just get stuff out. And I'm just gonna have to, well, I do things. So what have we got? We've got chicken schnitzels that I'm pretty sure Mum thinks I'm not going to be able to cook properly. And fried rice. She was trying to be all specific about how I cook the things, and like the pan's already there, which is like, you know, put it on this setting and all that. So I'm pretty sure she's expecting to come home to a disaster, but that's okay. That's what they get for going out to dinner without me, right? Oh my god, like when I came home, American stuff. Maybe I have to watch news on like a different channel. I usually like the ABC because there's less filler, but yeah, ABC NewsHour, USA votes. Lee Sales presents a 1-hour ABC News USA votes special, dissecting the events of the day and providing analysis of what the US election result means for Australia and the world. Plus, Juanita Phillips with news from where it cuts off, so maybe they will do some actual news. Oh, I don't know, I guess we find out. Chicken schnitzel is kind of hard not to burn. Is it? That's terrifying. I think the election is going to get ugly. What's it up to now? Biden 238, Trump 213, but there's a whole bunch left to figure out. Oh, and this guy's going on about the path to victory. Oh, you can't really see it very well there. He's like the expert for Aussie elections at least, and he's very good at calling things as it progresses, but just don't put the heat too high and flip it every minute. Mum said put it on 7 for 3 minutes each side, I think. But no, I'm just waiting for Hopi's alarm. It should go off. Oh, in about 30 seconds, so it might get loud. I'm sorry. And then I can start cooking stuff and see if they talk about something other than America. Where is Hope? Oh, there he is. Where can you see him? There he is. There. Oh my god. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Woof, 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 woof. Woof, 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 woof. I know, Hoopy, I know. It's... Marley, you've already eaten. Hoopy, sit. Sit. Stay. Stay. Go. Nice hair. Oh, thank you. I'm just sort of doing my evening routine, so there might not be much talking in this. Ravenous animal, yeah. Hey, Molly. Are we like missing all the action? Molly, that's Hopi's dinner. Come on, out of the kitchen, Molly. Go, 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 go. Molly? Goodness me. What you? Don't send it under the fridge, okay? Molly, out of the kitchen. Goodbye. How you going, Hopi? Oh gosh. Yeah. Dinner and a show. Oh dear. Well, you can go out. You've got a dog, don't you? No? 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 Yes, maybe no? Don't worry about it. Oh. There was one right there? Let's have a look. Hold on, almost. Yeah? Yeah? Hold on. Good job. Alrighty, so got the TV on. Something's going on. Maybe I put subtitles on so I don't have to turn it up too high. Ba-bum bum bum. Florida and Donald Trump. I don't care. I just want to hear the news, like Australian news, and they've got this crap going on. Oh, talking about the counting and all that. But no, 3 a.m. in Canada. Oh my God, I would just go to bed. This isn't going to be that exciting. 9 a.m. Oh. Anyway, so I'll be a bit distracted by the news, but I'm also going to try and cook one of these things. Seven. Boom. 3 minutes. Try not to blow up the house. Oh, starting off with all the American stuff. No. I need a drink. I suppose live cooking probably isn't a great idea in case I badly fuck it up. Oh, like they're all surprised that Trump's doing okay compared to whatever they were expecting. I don't know. Just like, do we believe polls anyway? These days, polls don't really tell you stuff, do they? My rice is gonna get cold. Yeah, so like Trump made a speech. I don't really know what's been going on today because I was at Bonsai. I hope you can hear me okay with the sounds of stuff. Because there's the air thingy. Whoosh. Anyway. Yeah, no, I have no idea. I have no idea what's... You can hear me, that's great. When I have Bonsai, it's basically like almost 24 hours. I don't really know what's going on. Though I suppose I saw a bit of the news this morning. Oh. Are they, like, now they're surprised that Trump would make an extraordinary statement. Like, he's always saying crazy stuff. Why are you so surprised? And I should pay attention to this, shouldn't I? Make sure it doesn't burn. It looks like it's okay. I think I'm doing it right. Oh. Well, if things do go up in flames, at least we, like, you know, there'll be video evidence of what happened, right? Oh, man. Oh, man. Okay, so now I, like, flip it over, right? Boom. 3 minutes. So far, so good. And the dogs are lurking. Don't put water on the fire. Fortunately, this thing is an induction whatever, so there's no flames here. If I set anything on fire, that'll be impressive. Well, they're still talking about America. Get back to Australia, like... America's been crazy since forever. Why are we surprised by anything? And I'm not sure that these subtitles are quite accurate. Or maybe I just don't know who they're talking about. Anyway, oh yeah. And isn't there a bunch of postal votes as well? Depending on how close it is, I guess. I love seeing the people like tune in like on the people counter and then disappear because they're like, what the hell is this that we're watching? Here's the fancy little map. God, the American system's weird. I don't get it. I'm managing not to burn stuff. It looks like food, so we're doing okay so far. Just hopefully I cook it enough and don't give myself food poisoning. That's the other thing. Yeah. On the other hand, though, there was a whole packet of the things, so if I mess this one up, it can be a practice try, right? reheat my rice? Maybe. Beep, beep, beep. Yeah, that looks cooked more on that side. Maybe I'll just turn it off and... I'm sure it's edible by now. Sizzle! Sizzle! Can you imagine me trying to live, like, alone? What is food? Let's turn it off before I explode anything. There's what, some more protests? Is that what's happening in America? Can't even. Huh? Non-stick pan. I'd cook the same stuff all the time. Yeah, look, that looks cooked. I think it's non-stick, but Mum also, like, there's still some oil in there from, like, cooking Mikey's dinner a bit earlier, so Mum set it up for me nicely. Now, let me just turn that off. They're still talking about America. I don't care. I need some sauce. And what do we got? Barbecue sauce and tomato sauce and Japanese mayo. So basically my go-to for okonomiyaki, and I realize this isn't okonomiyaki, but we're doing it anyway because Mum said I could. And you can't stop me anyway. By the way, like, Japanese mayonnaise is the only mayonnaise. I don't know what else other people are doing, but it tastes terrible. So. Dodgy. There we go. Whatever happens now, Donald Trump is here to stay. I'm going to need a knife, aren't I? Oh, America, blah, blah. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. Let's try not to drop anything awkwardly. Hey, I need something to hold the phone. What the security experts are concerned about are elements of the fringe of Donald Trump's supporters. A bottle of hand sanitizer, popular. If they see tyranny coming in this country, we watch the news. Donald Trump is very much let's turn subtitles off because it's not really that helpful. And I'm going to eat. Have you guys seen that ASMR stuff where, like, they're just eating McDonald's? Mikey's found that stuff and it's like, why do you watch this? It's terrible. Anyway, so I'll be eating for a bit. Oh my god, how long till I get to, like, news I care about? Oh yeah, here's my food. Yeah. Bit of fried rice and chicken schnitzel, but with okonomiyaki sauce. And that's where I'm up to. I'm so tired of America.
I just really respect his policies and his focus on really bringing this country back together and making it kind of a more peaceful place to be.
I am hopeful things will
America, a peaceful place to be.
on the Democratic side, both taking the presidency, but also the Senate.
Pollsters promised they'd be more accurate this time and predicted a seemingly unbeatable lead for Joe Biden. But the vote was not as fast or clear-cut.
I can't believe, like, polls in the modern era. I don't know.
Just after midnight,
At least in Australia. America is a country of peace.
And it ain't over till every vote is counted. Every ballot is counted.
One thing I like about Biden's campaign, though, is because, you know, they're trying to be COVID safe, so they get all the cars and they're all beeping their horns, and I'm like, yeah, I could get into that sort of a rally and just sit there going, beep, beep. That would be fun, I think. Oh, Mikey's still here. I better just close the door so I don't wake him up with my noise.
Candidate who sold himself as the working class boy made good is now focused on the ballots of voters.
Oh, Molly, did I make a loud noise and startle you? I'm sorry. Oh, dear.
That Democrats feel the most confident.
Very
because
peaceful.
They encourage their voters to go vote early.
I thought I was going to say something else, but I forgot. I'm too focused on the eating. I'm afraid of America. Yeah, no. For a long time, I've thought I wouldn't go to America again. Not for a long time. Especially not when it just keeps getting crazier and crazier.
And Catherine, this is at the Biden camp here in Delaware. Catherine, what's the mood at the Biden camp and what's the likely reaction to President Trump's announcement that he's won?
Did Trump already announce that he's won?
Yeah, look, we haven't
That's a bit early.
or had any sort of formal response from the Joe Biden camp yet, Lee.
Gosh.
But there is an obvious sense of disappointment here on the ground that any sort of hopes of a landslide victory have now been
Yeah.
dashed. We heard from
No,
Joe
I
Biden
wouldn't want to live in America.
and
I think, like,
his supporters still
I tend to be...
a path to the White House, particularly for
Did he?
as you know, campaigned on trying to
Generally, I'm like pro-gun control because it's worked well in Australia. But I think if I lived in America, I would have a gun.
where we are
You know, risk of that. I think a bug got on my onion. Ew. I mean, extra protein, but do I really want to eat it on camera? No, I think if I was in America, I probably would own a gun. Depression risk aside, I guess it depends what state you're in, whether or not you can get one with mental illness.
And there is some nervousness within the Morrison government about what the next fall could hold. Political editor Andrew Coburn.
In the mountains, it gets a bit cold, doesn't it?
In troubled times. Prime Minister showed he's not only a man of steel, he showed
I like where I live.
as well.
You know, the weather's good. Generally, I mean,
We have no stronger.
yeah, we don't have like earthquakes in Australia, not really. Sydney doesn't have hurricanes and stuff. I'm okay with the cold, as long as you have some good heating.
The steeliness of the alliance tested during Donald Trump's turbulent time in the White House.
We're seeing an America that recognises the limits of its own power.
America, racked by its own economic inequalities, embraced the isolationism Trump offered 4 years ago. Despite appeals from Australia, he withdrew the US from a major economic...
Well, that was the thing. I was going to talk about polling in Australia. One of the reasons they think it's not accurate here is because not as many people use a landline. Most people use their mobile phone. So it's a bit harder to do an accurate survey. Whereas in the past, they could call a bunch of different houses and reasonably know the demographics. You could balance it better. Whereas now with mobile phones, you don't really know who you're calling. And yeah, hard to control for demographic factors. I don't know how polling works in America though.
Australia's been uniquely squeezed between its top security
So,
and trade partners.
yeah, I think like the modern world makes polling a lot harder, and I guess they're less accurate.
Authoritarian superpower.
What are we talking about, Kim Jong-un now?
Fundamentally determines the politico-strategic framework of the region in which Australia lives.
I suppose that's one way to do it. But don't they call that exit polls? Or at least they call it here, like exit polls, when they ask people as they're leaving the ballot box, who did you vote for?
Starkest choices the US has been faced with.
Whatever the result, the United States is no longer the
Oh.
unchallenged world leader that dominated the second half of the 20th century.
Goodness me, there's like 5 people watching now.
Power player. America will continue to be a strategic
Nope, we just lost one. They're like, what is this?
a faithful ally as a resourceful, persuasive middle power is going to have to firmly assert its own future in a strategically critical part.
I think this was alright. I think I did okay.
Continues, Canberra.
As it became clear there wouldn't be...
Oh, now we're talking about the market in the election. No, let me hear. Now I just get frustrated. So much of the population is crazy.
Let's start with the US dollar. It had been falling because the polls were showing Joe Biden would win. Not because the markets disapproved of him politically, but because they thought the Democrats would do more stimulus, which is true. $3 trillion worth, in fact. And that would drive the budget deficit even more than it is. But when the counting started coming in after 11 a.m., it was clear that the election was going to be tighter than expected. So traders had to...
What do you mean tighter than expected? Gosh, like this election is always going to be tight.
Almost vertically. And of course the Australian dollar did the opposite and then recovered as the counting dragged on this afternoon. It's currently trading just above 71 US cents and
Oh,
61
man.
euro cents, well ahead of this time last night.
I mean, our Federal Reserve wants to keep the Aussie dollar low to help exports, but I want to buy stuff from overseas. I want the Aussie dollar to be a little bit better. What was that?
$3 trillion of stimulus.
It's hard to win when both sides in the US are so fanatical. Yeah, and I think the voting system doesn't help.
And cutting taxes at the
No.
moment, which will increase under Biden. And also the prospect of lower interest rates.
I think Australia's system makes it easier for like
Quite happy with either side.
more centrist middle ground parties to be more successful. And if you're on the extremes, you just piss off everyone, especially because like we have to vote.
S&P 500 futures saying, wait for me. And it closed to flat on the day with falls by miners and banks offset by technology stocks, which also led the gains in the American futures trade. And that's finance.
Alright, that was the finance report.
Special edition of ABC News, but for the day's other events, let's cross to...
Oh, okay.
Described it as a calculated risk, and it's one that separated families have been waiting for. New South Wales will reopen to Victoria in less than 3 weeks. In Sydney, 3 new infections have been found today, all are linked to an existing cluster. Political reporter.
3 new cases in Sydney, but it's all linked to a known cluster. I don't know how much of the news you can hear.
Unsurprising, Gladys
There's
Berejiklian
Gladys.
has been the first to move on reopening to all of Victoria. The restriction will be eased on November the 23rd.
With that, there comes some level of risk, and we accept that, but we believe that it's a cautious risk, it's a calculated risk.
It's also based on the theory that the virus isn't circulating in the southern states.
They may have, because of the lockdown, actually gone down a path of having eliminated at this point in time.
The government now concedes New South Wales achieved that back in June, but the virus was reintroduced from Victoria before the border closed.
Our data suggests we did not have any circulating virus until we had the Sydney event back in early June, early July.
Regardless, the Premier is adamant elimination isn't a sustainable strategy, and will pursue the border policy in cases start to climb.
I certainly don't think that
Yeah,
Gladys Berejiklian will be opening her border.
it's very unusual for an Australian party to not have a majority.
Decided the reopening,
And then they have to, you know, make deals with the minor parties. I think it's only happened once in my lifetime, or that I've been aware of.
hospitality venues.
We can't respond to a pandemic with paper. You've got to be
We just
faster.
increased our intelligence.
New South Wales Health is still trying to track
I
down
don't envy
the
Europe
workers
at the moment.
Tasman's one Lebanese restaurant in Liverpool last week. Those contact details weren't taken as required. Ashley Raper, ABC News, Sydney.
The
Crown's new multi-billion-dollar casino is set to open in Sydney next month, but an inquiry is being told the
Hey,
company
Marley.
is not suitable to hold the licence. The failure of the
Hello.
casino giant now has
Hello.
its balance after months of
Hello.
speculations about failures to
Hello.
discover this.
Last week,
from its grand opening, the licence for the towering casino is now at risk.
I don't really care about the casino.
Demonstrates that the licensee is not suited.
But yeah, no, the QR code thing in New South Wales, I think they haven't been clear enough. I think yesterday it sounded like they wanted us to individually sign in with the QR code, whereas most of those restaurants, I mean, I haven't been out much, but when I have been out, they just get one person in your group to sign in. So I think they need to be a little bit more clear about the sign-in process. Although that restaurant, that's the problem in Sydney. They didn't have even a plan, and I think you're supposed to have a plan at this point.
The hearing has previously been told Crown knowingly partnered with junket operators.
You know, like even if people don't have to sign into everything, you at least to have, like you at least have to have some kind of record of people coming. I don't know. I think one person signing in would be enough, because then they could tell the others, but I suppose, you know, if they want us all to sign in, they should make that clearer.
Has been found not guilty of murder.
Who's not guilty of murder?
The 49-year-old faced a trial by judge alone after the baby's body washed up on the beach at Surfers Paradise 2 years ago. She was 9 months old. The man has a history of schizophrenia, and the judge accepted that he believed he had to sacrifice the girl to save the world. He was held in custody under mental health legislation until a court rules he is fit for release. A Sydney student has been charged over a copycat bomb threat made to his own school. When the teenager was arrested at his home in the city south, police allege he spat on an officer. Hundreds of students were evacuated from North Sydney Boys High after the school received a threatening phone call last week. More than 30
Apple
students
juice.
emailed similar threats from criminals based in Eastern Europe. The boy was today released on bail, and his student faced a
North
criminal
Sydney.
court later this month.
I think I know which school that is.
Waiting to hear if they're about to be hit with another round of trade
Really
sanctions
fun.
by
I don't
China.
drink alcohol,
In
so.
recent days,
Oh.
has blocked shipments of timber, barley,
Yeah,
and
China.
lobsters, and rumours
China's
that
really
Australia
trying to
and
screw
other
with us.
sectors might also be hit before the end of the week. The Trade Minister is demanding an end to the uncertainty, but he still can't get his Chinese counterpart on the phone.
No, because they just want to bully the crap out of us. But there are other markets that want our stuff. We just might not get as high a price.
And for Australian farmers and fishers who depend on the huge Chinese market, uncertainty can be fatal to their business.
Oh
Beijing
dear.
has already blocked shipments of timber and barley. It's also left live Australian rock lobsters stranded.
Oh, we can all drink apple juice.
90% of
Kampai.
the southern rock lobster caught in Victoria has been destined for China.
I think Hope's a little bit confused about why I'm talking to myself while I'm watching the news.
Well, I mean, it can't be good for everyone's mental health.
Hey, Hope!
What sort of crisis is this?
I have like.
Wine and barley with quarantine measures and trade sanctions. Now, importers say they've been given unofficial hints that other industries, including sugar and coal, could be next.
We do have concerns about these issues. We expect our trade with China to be undertaken consistent with WTO obligations.
China's government will only issue land statements.
We hope that Australia will do more things that are conducive to mutual trust and cooperation.
It's such a shame that China acts the way it does, because like it could be such a good country, but they just want to mess with everyone.
To get his Chinese counterpart on the phone.
We think that dialogue and mature dialogue, even where there are differences, remains the best way to work through these sorts of issues, and our door remains
I don't know.
to that dialogue. The ball is in their court.
Farmers groups are pleading with the government not to abandon diplomacy.
Our message is don't give up, keep trying, do whatever we can to keep having these conversations.
Easier said than done. Stephen Judges, ABC News, Canberra.
What time is it? Oh.
It's emerged that the gunman who killed 4 people in the heart of Vienna yesterday
Yeah,
was
but I think
released from prison in December.
for a while the CCP wasn't as crazy. Like President Xi, I think, has really ramped things up. Oh yeah. It's all about power in the end, isn't it? What's this? Oh, the shooting in Vienna is what we're looking at now. Can you hear the TV? Can someone tell me if you can hear the TV?
Came through the glass above Noah Delamade's COVID-19 testing clinic.
I feel threatened, of course, and to see police going around with metal detectors and looking for bullets and stuff like that, it's very frightening.
At a nearby bar, drinks were abandoned.
Okay. Yeah, I just don't want like YouTube to get all, ooh, copyright or whatever. I don't know if ABC News is like that, but you never really know.
The city centre all day, fearing there could be more gunmen on the loose. But authorities say after looking at video...
I love how McDonald's is basically everywhere. TV mumble? Okay, thanks guys.
Following raids across the city. Expressions of solidarity poured in from around the world, including...
Is it just me, or is there...
...from recent attacks from Islamic extremists in Nice and Paris. The UK
Yeah.
has raised its...
It seems like there's a fair bit of terrorism all of a sudden in that area. Like Europe and all those.
Christians and Muslims, or between Austrians and migrants. No, it's a struggle between the many people who believe in peace and those few who want war. It's a fight between civilization and barbarism.
Unless you're able to get rid of this hate, of whatever's happening, there's a hate, everybody can see it. You cannot live with the situation, and we still have to live.
And that's what they did at this Vienna concert hall. The audience was told it wasn't safe to leave because a gunman was on the loose outside, but the musicians remained on stage and kept on playing.
There was the most touching and soothing
So,
moment when I thought,
yeah,
oh,
no.
there's something
Australia is
very
very lucky, like,
with the heart.
stuff does happen here, but it feels like not as much as in some other countries.
Remain on edge. Nick Dole, ABC.
Like, in terms of terrorism, but also
The big four banks have
natural disasters
some
and...
of yesterday's rate cut to homeowners, but not to everyone.
Oh
The
gosh.
cuts are being passed
So now we're
on
talking about the rate cut.
homeowners only. The lenders will issue new 4-year fixed-term home loans with an interest rate close to 2%. They're also cutting rates for shorter fixed-term loans. But owner-occupiers on a variable loan and investors will not receive any cuts to their interest rates. Some business loan rates will also be cut.
I just don't know that interest rates... I don't know that cutting them is the right way to fix the economy, because it's so low at the moment that, like, does it really make that much difference? And then if the banks don't cut their rates, who is, your average person isn't really going to have extra money. Oh god, they're talking about sport, so, I don't give a shit about sport. If anyone wants to... Until the weather. But are they going to play the weather, or do I have to wait through more American stuff? Because, like, it's 7:30 now. They would have already done the weather by now if this was a normal news report. But no, we had to start with the American stuff. Also, I kind of want to watch Hard Quiz and... What's the other one? Gruen. Gruen's the one about advertising tactics. It's like, do I keep live streaming? Because like this isn't one of those fun ones where I'm talking a lot. It's like where I'm just sort of staring off into the distance or eating something. Jackson Trumpling, oh my gosh.
Even on a neutral ground, I think there'll be a lot of heavy work to be done if Queensland's to get through. New South Wales, of course, two-time defending champions. Brad Fittler has them right and ready.
Dear Hopey. Should I close the things? I'll close the things.
Very interesting match. I think the NRL, or rather Rugby League, hasn't had a great impact in South Australia. But there will be right behind the players.
Spectators on and off.
Oh, so the Sydney to Hobart is still going ahead.
Organisers are planning live streaming.
I mean, like if you're on a boat,
fans to follow the race online.
all the boats are socially distanced.
Briefings will also be held online for the first time. Tasmania's borders open to travellers from New South Wales this Friday, and that paved the way for the race to go ahead.
I see.
Time for the weather now.
Time for the weather!
A bit of cold front crossing the state at the moment. Now, as the front moves further north...
Although, I only care about the weather if I'm working bonsai.
As that front moves through,
So,
is going to form and bring some localised heavy falls. It's also going to bring...
oh, what? They've changed the way it looks. I don't like when they do that.
The Royal National Park pretty much all the way
No, those are tides, are they?
tomorrow. So in the north, we will see...
Oh my god, I don't like when they change the way the weather looks.
Rain about the Hunter, the Central Tablelands into Sydney, and also the Illawarra and Southern Tablelands. We are looking for potential localised heavy falls in the...
Okay, I think I understand what's going on, but it just...
Mostly clear over the inland, but it will be...
Because sometimes they use colours to show thunderstorms, but I think they're just using colours to show how much rain is going on. Okay, Sydney. Tomorrow, 15 to 19, sideways rain. It's going to be cold tomorrow. Good day to just sort of like bludge. And then my working days are cloudy. I can deal with that. Not too cold, in low 20s.
Clearing coastal shower in the morning. Another frontal system will move through on Saturday. Now, this is only bringing the potential of some isolated showers. Then as we run through next week, we start to see those temperatures warm.
They're spending a lot more time on this than
So
usual.
we could see some thunderstorms becoming a little bit more widespread, Juanita, as we move into the end of the week.
Thanks, Graham. Let's return now to our coverage of the US election.
Oh, let's not return to the coverage of the US election. Oh my god.
Welcome back.
Ah.
4 years marked
Reign of
by
sharks,
political
increase
division,
of
capped
bear
off by a
attacks.
year of civil unrest. It seems fitting that
Alright,
America's election remains deadlocked for now, with both Donald Trump and Joe Biden saying the path to victory.
Just gonna mute that because like I don't care, like, and it's gonna go on for ages, especially because like they're not gonna know for a while, and then whether or not the postal votes mean anything, and then whoever loses is gonna have a whinge, and we're just not gonna hear the end of it for ages, are we? So, yeah, fun stuff. I'm looking forward to there being different news. Although what the world comes up with next, especially in 2020. Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay, oh gosh. Dear oh dear. So what else is happening? I haven't finished checking all my notifications for the day. I'm pretty tired. And I'm alone. I didn't show you the fancy... I can't use the app because I'm on the phone, right? But can you see the thingy? And it like... I think maybe I went too far away from the router, so I don't know if you could see the thing outside, but maybe I shouldn't go all the way over there. 2020, the year that just keeps getting worse. Oh, there's been some okay stuff. You didn't see the roof thing? Okay, I'll just have to make a video about that. Because I was going to show people on Facebook anyway, and I just keep forgetting. But I'll get to it eventually. A bit like how I went on that cruise 2 years ago and still haven't uploaded anything from that. Not even to Facebook. Like, I took photos and I was like, yeah, I'll upload these to Facebook. And it just never happened, did it? Oh gosh, all this American stuff. So, what else can we get up to? Am I still hungry? I'm sort of contemplating, do I rummage through the freezer to find like an ice cream or something? But maybe I don't feel like that. Oh, the problems that I have, they're so difficult. Oh, what are we talking about now? So, maybe this is the popular vote, which I haven't heard about yet. Where's the unmute button? Or maybe they're just going state by state, I don't even know. I'll just put away this. We can turn off that light. Although, should I leave the light on because then I just turn into a darkened mess? Yay! Oh, I feel like this is just on a loop from earlier in the day. If I fall asleep, would you guys keep watching? I'm sorry for the earthquake. We'll be watching the ceiling. What if it falls that way? Then you'll be watching like a smudge that is my leg. Oh, great. They're breaking down the voting base for the two candidates. So Trump's base, white men, small town, rural, Mormon, white evangelical, gun owners, veterans, and like what percentage of them are Trump. White evangelical, they reckon, is the most. Like 80%, like 80% of white evangelicals. And then the rest are like 50 to 60%. Biden's base, 18 to 29 women, black, Latino, college-educated, moderate, urban, Jewish, single, LGBT. Oh, goodness. They reckon 90% black is Biden's base. And then the rest are like 60 to 70%. Oh. Watching a black void. Isn't that just like watching me anyway? Am I not the black void? Because like my content is all over the place. They sound like made up numbers. Well, I missed the start. I missed the explanation of like what the numbers even mean. Oh gosh, this guy looks like a potato. It's too bad I can't show you two screens at once. But yeah, I don't know, the camera doesn't pick up the TV very well anyway. So if you're in Australia, I'm watching Channel 20, ABC, and you can watch along with me. And this guy, he's maybe not as potato-y as Peter Dutton. But he is a bit chunkier, so I guess like an American potato. You know, if you compare Americans and Australians. I don't know if I'm making any sense either, because I'm just like... This is what happens when you leave me home alone with the internet connection, and I should keep an eye on my battery, because that'll probably be the limiting factor here. I don't know if my phone was fully charged after work before starting this stream. You almost sound drunk. I've never been drunk, so, you know. Shut up, Karen. What? I don't know if you're trolling or if you're, like, making a joke. But if you don't like my stuff, you don't have to watch, so... You know, we all have choices on how to waste our time. This is how I'm wasting my time. Something about the state Supreme Court. I think they might be talking about, like, if one of the candidates wants to challenge the result. But yeah, I wasn't paying attention. Yeah. So like, if they take the election results to court, then it's going to drag out even longer, and we're going to have to hear even more about it. Did that person leave? Vertex? Oh no, people are weird. Anyway, yeah, no, the weird thing is like I've said that this video in the title, I'm just like having dinner and watching TV or whatever. So if people come to this live stream expecting something else, I don't know what to tell you. Like the things that people click on, and then have a whinge about, like with my Alienware videos, people click on that knowing that they want to complain about Alienware. And it's just the weirdest thing, like why do you watch stuff that you know you're going to hate? I suppose some people like being able to complain about something and, you know, harass someone and attempt to make them feel shit. I suppose that's some people's idea of entertainment. It's kind of sad, but I don't know. I just like, if I see something I know I'm not gonna like, why do I click on it? Sometimes I'll watch something where like the opinion, like if it's a political video, if the opinion is something that I'm not really on board with, I might click it because I'm like curious about what their position will be, especially if it's someone who's good at articulating their ideas. But yeah, like I can listen to it, and if I don't like it, well, maybe in the past I would have been like, but what about blah 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 blah. But these days I'm just like, yeah, nah. It's too much effort. And that's like, you know, if I did that, I'd be trying to raise an actual point instead of just complaining for the sake of complaining. You know, like some people click on those videos and they just, like they don't really pay attention and they don't really raise, oh God, there's like 8 people watching. Hello, you've come to the wrong place probably. Unless you read the video title and you're like, yes, I am into this. In which case, welcome, we're just watching TV. If you're in Australia, I'm watching Channel 20. Or I don't know if the New South Wales news is different. And I don't know, like maybe if you're in Western Australia, the timing might be wrong, but hello! How are you? Yeah. Oh, hello! Hello, everyone. Yeah. I'm just like, I'm tired. I've got the house to myself, apart from Mikey and the dogs. Hello from California. Oh my gosh. Hey, everyone. We're just chilling out on the couch. I'm deciding whether or not I want an ice cream, and I'm watching ABC News. I suppose now it would be the 7:30 usual kind of programming, but it's all this American stuff, and I'm just like, move on. But I don't really like 7:30 generally. Like, I mean, the media will always be flawed, but as far as these things go, the ABC, at least in their news program, try to be something like objective, but 7:30 is like, sometimes it's just so full of biased opinions that I'm just, I can't even, you know, like they get a reporter with a particular interest to watch, sorry, my brain's already out of it. They get a reporter with a particular interest to chase up a story, and sometimes I'm just like, you can see the bias so badly there. Do you like Hunter Thompson? I have no idea who that is. I'm not very good with like famous people or people in general. USA votes. Okay, what are we up to next? Days of counting ahead. Great. Now we're talking about legal battles. Oh. Like, look at these lines. I've never seen lines that long in Australia. Like, I think we manage voting better. USA is pretty lame. Yeah, we've sort of been talking about, like, even who is it who lives in America? If I just scroll up, oh, I don't know. I don't know, there's a few of you who live in America and are like, even we think it's crazy. No, it's watching from Australia, I'm just like, how does this system even supposed to work? Oh, blah, blah, legal challenge.
Keep in mind that if it is not
In my area, at least we had early voting as long as like a month ago. So the fact many people waited last minute was fine. Yeah. I'm going to summon the author of Fear and Loathing Las Vegas. No idea what that is. I haven't read any books in like ages. Combination of COVID, temperature, and time commitment. Why wait for these? Yeah. Like in Australia, I think if you vote early in the morning, like it's always on a Saturday, and if you vote early in the morning, you get crowds. I always wait until about 2 o'clock, and then you just like you're in and out. You hardly have to wait. And there's like, depending on which polling place is open, because there was one in this tiny little church up a few roads, and that one's always empty. But they haven't run that one, I think, the last election, and I had to go to the other place. Yeah. That would have been last year. We had 2 elections. We had the federal election and the New South Wales state election. I think the election before that, though, was when I had my green hair. And so, of course, the Greens come up to me and try to hand me their pamphlet. And I'm just like, go away. I don't need, like, I look up every single candidate that runs in my area. We get like 10 people running. I know in other places in Sydney, you only get the major parties and maybe one extra random. But in my electorate, there's always way too many people running. And I research every single one of them and rank them. And I know ahead of time who I'm going to vote for. And I like have my preferences. And I write all my notes up for the family to look at. And they're like, okay. Because some of them are so obscure. And so I have to hunt them down online and figure out what they actually believe in. It's kind of interesting. Is there a lot of lobbying in Australia? I don't pay attention to lobbying, so I couldn't really tell you exactly how it all goes. I think special interest groups find it harder to get a foothold in Australia because we all have to vote, so you're less likely to have people staying home. If not everyone votes, then the most motivated people go out to vote, and they tend to be the more extreme ones. That's my theory anyway. So, yeah, I think it's harder for lobbyists to get a foothold. But actually, in my electorate, last federal election, Get Up was very active. They're sort of activist group, left-leaning. Our next election in March. For people with a funny name. I like the I don't know about the Netherlands, but in the UK, like, there's that Buckethead dude, Lord Buckethead or something, and they have to let him run, and at the end, they announce everyone by getting all the candidates on the stage, and he's on there with the costume. That's one thing I like about the British system. Otherwise, I think it's crap too. From the sounds of it, the British system is also first past the post, which America seems to be. So like you only really get one vote, and if your person doesn't get in, whereas here we have preference voting, which works reasonably well. Whoa, we do have crazy learner parties, but people mostly just ignore them. Yeah, we've got a few. I love that. I would vote for Lord Buckethead. We had I think, Vernon something guy with a boot on his head. I promised every American a goat. I think we're talking about how unusual Trump is now. Former Hillary Clinton campaign manager or something. Well, no one's saying Pokemon go to the polls, are they? That's how it's different to 2016. Oh, I'm so tired. And one thing I like to do when people are speaking is I sort of look at the teeth because some people kind of have a natural fang thing going on. I've got a friend who her canines are slightly forward and like they look legit like fangs. It's cool. I haven't seen her in ages though because she moved out of Sydney to like a regional town. What kind of Pokemon would you find in a voting station? Well, you just take your Pokemon Go app and then look around, see what's there. Ugh. Come on, that game's still going, isn't it? I quit when Mum quit. Yeah. I had fangs until my parents forced braces on me. Yeah. I mean, there's some things that straight teeth are good for, like in terms of not wearing teeth down unevenly. But if it's more like fangs, I don't really see how that gets in the way. But then maybe the way the teeth are aligned next to each other. Yeah. Oh dear. I'm really not paying attention to whatever's going on here. Just like, I mean, Trump's a nutcase. Everyone knows that. Things make me think of vampire talks. Yeah, I want to talk about vampires at some point. I just keep getting distracted. Things pretty nice. Yeah. But yeah, no. So Trump, we all know Trump is kind of crazy. And mostly I don't like him, like, more as a person kind of thing, but every now and then he does something that only someone crazy could do that I'm like, yeah, I can go with that. Like challenging China, none of the conventional politicians wanted to have a go at that, even though China gets away with a lot of stuff. And I think some of the stuff that they did in the Middle East, the conventional politicians wouldn't really go there. So like it's not all bad, but he is a nutcase. On the other hand though, the Democrats suck at choosing candidates. You know, like I haven't followed American politics that long and I don't follow it very closely, but I'm just like, there were definitely more interesting candidates and I just noticed now that I've got monetization, when I click the chat button, like, I think I can filter it just to super chat. I didn't notice that before. Oh, and like it's on top chat, so if there's any spam, some messages might not get through, so heads up on that, guys. I think when I'm on the computer, it shows me everything, but I think on the phone, if it thinks it's spam, it's not going to show it. So yeah, heads up on that. If I've missed any messages, I'm sorry. Trump is kind of crazy and the ocean is kind of wet. Oh, there's so many montages with him talking about COVID going away and stuff and having caught it and recovered with his private doctors. Oh my god. Oh, now we're back to the Black Lives protests. I think that's what that is. Or is it just protests in general? Oh, I think it's like protests and counter-protests. You know, Americans protesting against each other. I'm pretty sure if Biden wins, he'll just step down right away and let Harris be president. I thought a lot of people didn't like her. That's the impression I got.
5 years ago, Donald Trump made racial grievances a prominent feature in his presidential campaign. They're bringing crime, they're rapists. Race has always been central to Donald Trump's political business model.
Yeah, so we're talking about race and Trump and stuff. And all the chaos that has happened since Trump's been president. But I think like a lot of this stuff has sort of been under the surface in America for ages, hasn't it?
I think there's blame on both sides, and I have no doubt about it.
There was a criticism he would face again in 2020.
Are you willing tonight to condemn white supremacists?
Oh my gosh, there's 9 people watching. Hello to whoever's tuning in right now. This is just a sort of me sitting on the couch now because I finished dinner. We're still watching the news, but it's like an American election special. So I'm kind of bored because like there's other stuff going on in the world and we have to watch all this stuff. It's different, but it feels like a lot of parallels with Bush. Oh, yeah, remember when people thought Bush was a crazy president? Oh, he looks like such a puppy now, doesn't he? Doesn't he paint puppies? Also, I think Bush was funnier. Like, he had a sense of humor, whereas when Trump does something funny, it's just because, like, he's a bit of an idiot. But, like, there's one where George W. Bush is like, he was trying to get into, like, some door and it was locked, and he just sort of stands aside and sort of shrugs awkwardly, and I'm like, this guy, you know, get him a stand-up routine. We just got those shoes thrown at him during that one reading. Yeah. Yeah, no, there was some fun stuff with, W. You know, and like, oh gosh, Scaramucci. Is he still around? Bush Jr. seems to just want his father's approval. Bush was dumb enough to be funny. Did you see that Vice movie? No. I'm really, like, culturally, I don't know a lot of stuff.
4 more years of Donald Trump or a Biden presidency, but on the narrowest of wins. What is that going to mean for America's authority in the world?
Oh God, America's authority in the world. It's funny that it's called the United States because it doesn't seem very united. Trump is like a parody of himself. He is a bit. I gotta say though, Bojo's pretty funny too, Boris Johnson. You know, British Trump. I haven't kept up with what's going on in Britain though. I can't anymore. It's too crazy. They really screwed things up, and I think they've lost too much. Is it political capital? I thought I heard something outside. They're fighting with each other all the time, states. Oh, what's happening now? What time is it? What year is it? It's 8. Oh, hard quiz. So will Brexit ever happen? Next up, hard quiz. Aphex Twin, is that a band? See how retarded I don't know anything. Oh my god, okay, so I have 38% battery. Do I turn off the live stream while I watch hard quiz and probably ignore the crap out of you guys? Because, although, like, what I really want to watch is Gruen. Because, like, the advertising things. Hard quiz, it's the same kind of thing. Feed the phone, you want me to charge it. I suppose I should go grab all this stuff while, I don't know if my charging block's been charged. She's from America, don't know how I got here. Wish you the best, see ya. Yeah, thanks for tuning in. I think it's, like, really early over in America, isn't it? If we miss the beginning of hard quiz though, it's hard to catch up. La 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 la. 2 a.m. Oh my god, I would just go to bed. Anyway guys, charging block, there you are. Charging cable, there you are. And something to open the charging block because it's always so badly stuck. Maybe I just get a knife. Let's see if it... What is hard quiz? Now just leave the phone in. Hard quiz is like a quiz show where everyone has their own expert topic. So like the expert topic, so the questions are hard. And the host is also a bit of an asshole on purpose. So, that's also hard because he's being hard on them. Oh, here we go. Da-na-na-na. Bob, psychiatrist, expert subject. I missed that one. Research scientist Steve. Sean the sheep. Frank, lab analyst. Evolution. Connor, forklift driver. Some kind of tractor is his expert subject. And here comes Tom Gleason. I think it's a cartoon thing. Yeah. You can be an expert on anything. Woo! Hard quiz champion, new.
Let's say hello.
Hello.
G'day, Connor.
G'day, Connor.
Now, you're really into tractors.
You're really into tractors. Why?
like tractors. I've always grown
This guy is into a specific kind of tractor.
Yeah, that's me. Give him a little help, you know.
So that little grey fur you used to belong to your grandfather. That's correct. But then it went
Weird.
missing for many years.
Yeah.
Got it back. What happened?
Oh, Pop, he died in 2001 when I was about 9. Nana, she just sold it off. And then I remember the day that it was sold, put it on the trailer, and then the guy...
I think that guy's younger than me.
Never going to see that again. Fast forward to about 2015, I was on Gumtree just scrolling through my phone.
Oh, you can't see him well, but I think he's younger than me. And now I'm like, maybe I am a vampire because I don't age. Yeah, sorry. He has a bit of hair, it's just a bit thin.
Then I gave it a spiel about, oh, grandfather, blah, blah. Oh, yeah, cool, mate.
Wow. I feel like I'm at a country pub. I just bought this here. Not more than the money's worth. So was it you were estranged from your tractor and then you formed a relationship with it again?
Quite a strong relationship, you'd say, yeah.
Okay, a strong sexual relationship?
I wouldn't say that. It's no sexual, mate.
They're making sex jokes.
Frank! Now, the theory of evolution is your expert subject.
Yes.
Why do you like it?
I studied zoology and genetics at uni, and ever since then I've just loved how...
Frank has very colourful braces.
the fight to everything.
Now, you have a
Do they win money on the tractor? They win a big brass mug.
I get to the top of an escalator or the bottom of an escalator.
I'm not even kidding.
I have to time myself to step on the escalator.
You can't quite commit.
No, I can't commit to the escalator.
Can you not evolve to get past that?
This is the person on evolution.
If your local supermarket's on a second floor?
Potentially. I mean, you do hear stories about people getting their feet beaten by escalators. I don't know if they're true, but...
Okay, what? They're not. You reading tractor seems pretty normal now, doesn't it? Steve, Sean the sheep is your expert subject.
Yeah, no, it's hard. Okay, Sean the sheep guy.
Seemed to be like Monty Python, and then watching Sean the sheep and the grandkids, I sort of took it off and just kept watching it myself.
Oh,
He was watching it with his grandkids and just kept watching it without them.
Strange it is.
Yeah, it does sound strange. Do you watch it with your wife as well?
A bit. She's been getting a bit sick of Sean the sheep.
His wife's sick of it.
Do you annoy her by making the weird noises from the
Oh,
show?
she hates that.
What noises do you make?
Farmers, very good.
Oh my god. They find some real weirdos for this show. So if you're in Australia, I'm watching Hard Quiz, you can probably tune in with me. If you're overseas, good luck to you.
PhD in chlorophyll and glycoalkaloid synthesis and controlling potato tubers.
Yes.
Is that a fancy way of saying you're a doctor of potatoes?
Yeah, that's true.
Because you're into food, is that
The
right?
doctor of potatoes.
Vegetables, fresh food, all that sort of stuff. Yes.
So you've done a PhD in fruit and veg.
He's done a PhD in
How long
potatoes.
do you have to spend at Coles to get that?
You wouldn't get it at Coles. You don't always get the best stuff there sometimes.
Shots fired.
No, you don't have to cut it out. It's the ABC. In fact, often when we mention a brand, you have to be disparaging so it doesn't seem like you're promoting it.
Oh, the ABC isn't allowed to advertise.
Never go to Coles.
Never go to Coles. They suck.
Oh, now your expert subject is the Siege of Tobruk.
Okay, so Bob, the Siege of Tobruk. My history is not good enough to know what that's about.
Alex Duncan, he was with the 2nd 12th Battalion. He served in Tobruk and also fought in El Alamein. And my uncle Keith Spears was also there with the 2nd 48th Battalion, and he fought in El Alamein as well.
Now you're a psychiatrist.
I am.
Ooh, he's a psychiatrist.
Well, the ABC, they've got me to do a report, so in a couple of weeks I'll probably be having a chat to you.
So he's just taking a dig at the host. He's like, I'm a psychiatrist. He's like, wait, I'm going to do an assessment of you.
Seems pretty normal to me.
They really take the piss out of like the contestants, but the contestants also take the piss out of the host. And like just, let's see this specific episode with all this. Oh wait, hang on. I have to see if there are episodes of highlights on YouTube tomorrow. This sounds amazing. Yeah, if you're in Australia, you can watch it on iView. If you're outside Australia, you might need a VPN. We're starting. A specific episode with all the science. I don't know.
Began in April 1941 after 14,000 Australian soldiers were surrounded by Axis forces, commanded by which German general? Erwin Rommel.
If you steal an answer from someone, like, so they're doing an expert round, anyone can answer.
Did he roll in on a tractor or something?
If you get it right, you get 5 points. If you steal someone else's expert question, though, and get it right, though, you get double points. So that guy just got 10 points because he got the other guy's expert question right.
In the defence of which artificial waterway? Oh,
The Mediterranean Sea.
Oh, Bob lost 5 points. He stole another one.
There were no tractors in the Suez Canal. Not that I know.
So you can hear a bit.
Side interest in war history. Allied troops
Can you hear the audio?
attacked to give Germany
A little?
its
Okay.
first defeat on land.
Oh, shut up.
Named after which Christian holiday? Bob.
Easter.
Correct.
Bob's back to 0 points.
I'd attack too if someone made me work on a public holiday. It's known as the Easter Battle. The Aussie and British troops let the German tanks in and then attacked all the infantry behind them. It's a bit like what Connor's doing.
Yeah, Bob's the expert for this particular subject.
Attacking
He's
you
not
from
doing
behind.
so well, though. What?
According to wartime newspapers, a Queensland corporal at Tobruk used aluminium from a German bomber to make unofficial medals featuring what animal? Bob.
The rat.
Correct.
Oh, we've lost a bunch of people. Hopefully, like, Americans going to bed. Because it's way too early in the morning over there.
Their name. Last question in your set, Bob. The siege was lifted after 8 months with a prolonged Allied offensive named after what type of medieval soldier? Bob.
Crusader.
Correct.
I don't know any of this.
Next set of questions is for Steve on
Shaun the Sheep!
Ready, Sean? You are going to answer his words, aren't you? Sean and his flock live with the farmer and bits of the sheepdog on a farm named Mossy what?
Bottom farm.
Correct. Mossy Bottom Farm is the correct answer. Steve, do you have a Mossy Bottom?
Not at present.
What? What do you mean not at present?
Sometimes if you've been out in the bush, you might get a bit of a mossy bottom, but
Yeah. I found as you get older, it can get a bit more mossy. The show has no dialogue, with the character of Sean modelled after which deadpan silent movie star? Steve.
Buster Keaton.
Correct.
He's doing alright so far.
Though popular with children, the series contains in-jokes for grown-ups, with which episode title spoofing that of the musical Little Shop of Horrors? Steve.
Little Sheep of Horrors.
Correct. Shaun the Sheep made his first appearance in the 1995 short film A Close Shave, starring which claymation duo?
Oh, steal! Sometimes contestants blurt out the answer but forget to press the button, and then someone else steals it.
Last question in your set, Steve. When a thieving magpie steals metal objects from Mossy Bottom Farm, Sean and his friends retrieve them by using what giant implement? Steve.
A magnet.
Correct! Works a lot better when you press the buzzer, doesn't it? Time now for Frank and the theory of evolution.
Oh, here we go with evolution.
Decades before Charles Darwin's work, Jean-Baptiste Lamarck suggested that species inherit acquired traits, citing as an example which
The giraffe.
Frank.
Giraffe.
Hey! I remember high school science.
Lamarck thought the giraffe stretched its neck to get to higher leaves, but that's not right, is it?
No, it doesn't work that way. It just magically grow a long neck because you want to.
Yeah.
No.
So Lamarck was the very foundations of evolution, but didn't quite get it right. Darwin's book on the origin of species outlined his theory of natural selection, and in later editions adopted the phrase survival of the what.
Fittest. Everyone knows that. Steve stole it. Shaun the Sheep Man.
Watching Bob and Steve bash away at those podiums was like survival of the least fit. I thought we were going to lose one of you. In an iconic evolutionary case study, dark-coloured peppered moths became predominant in the UK during the Industrial Revolution due to having what advantage? Steve,
Because of the pollution with the coal dust.
And they were darker.
Being dark, they could stand in the trees and not be picked up by birds.
Hey, that was a long way to answer that.
Double points to you, but you could have also said camouflage. You've been watching too much. That would have been good if you'd answered noises.
I have no idea when people are going to come home, by the way. So if I disappear, maybe my battery's gone.
Natural selection, like you said,
Maybe
though,
people are
essentially
home.
what happened was there were coal dust on all the trees and they could hide better. The theory of evolution was bolstered by Gregor Mendel's laws of inheritance, which were based on his study of which plants? Frank.
Pea plant.
Correct. Yeah, he bred peas and worked out that genes come in pairs and are inherited as distinct units, one from each parent. Mendel was a monk, in case you're wondering what that fancy dress was. Last question in your set, Frank. In 1988, evolutionary biologist Richard Lenski began an experiment on single-cell organisms, breeding more than 70,000 generations of which bacteria? Frank.
E. coli.
Correct.
Ooh, okay, so the score.
Why?
Because E. coli is really quick to grow. You can get a generation in 20 minutes.
Yeah, generation.
Frank's on 25, but Shaun the Sheep Man is on like 40.
1 million years of human evolution. Last set in the expert round, it's Connor and the Ferguson T20 tractor. Take a look at this.
If you think of a tractor as a mechanized horse, then of course you build a plough on wheels to harness to it. Now think of a tractor as a ploughing tool. Why not make the ploughshare part of it, without any wheels of its own, and couple it here, and on top here.
The TE20 tractor showcased the revolutionary Ferguson system, built around what's known as the three-point what? Connor.
Linkage.
Correct.
I think his is the most obscure.
Three-point linkage. TE20 is accredited with saving the New South Wales town of Wentworth during a 1956 flood of the Darling and which other river?
This is a very specific tractor.
Murray.
Oh wow, Steve's doing well. Shaun the Sheep Man.
Yeah, that's why Wentworth has a statue commemorating the TE20. They also chucked a little grey Fergie in the pub, and they also put one on the stick. Is that a bit hard for you to look at? You're like, take it away. It reminds you of one of the dreams you had.
Oh dear.
Put it on the end of my...
What?
The first TE20 was produced by Harry Ferguson in 1946 amid the breakdown of a handshake agreement he had made with which American...
Yeah, the evolution ones were very year 7 science.
Correct.
With this game, if you're going to go on the show, you want your topic to be obscure so that people can't steal from you.
The TE20 was the first motor vehicle to reach the South Pole and was later depicted on which New Zealand currency note? Connor.
$5
Correct.
Yeah, evolution's too broad.
I love this story. Essentially, they were just
And
laying down
a lot of
slides
people
and
know
everything
about
went out,
evolution,
and then
so...
Hillary went, "Okay, let's just drive the whole way there." Last question in your set, Connor.
A 1951 replica of the Ferguson tractor was the first complex plastic model produced by which toy company? Connor. Lego.
So Tractor Man and Shaun the Sheep Man are in the lead, but next they do like the people's round, and so no, it's Tom's subjects. He chooses some random subject.
We've waddled through their subjects now, let's waddle through mine.
Tom's round. Tom's subject. Multiple choice. Rove? Ew.
I love Rove. He makes hosting a TV show look easy. Because it is. This round is multiple choice.
He always turns up at the end of Doctor Who and is really annoying. I don't like Rove.
Which of these Rove live music video parodies ends with Rove McManus pulling his undies out of his bum? A, oops, I did it again. B, murder on the dance floor. C, can't get you out of my head. D, scars. The answer is B, murder on the dance floor.
Wow, Shaun the Sheep Man. Getting it again. Oh, hello, someone else has turned up. We're currently watching Hard Quiz. If you're in Australia, we can watch it together.
In a series of children's books written and illustrated
On
by
Channel
Rove,
2, Channel
which
20.
of these titles? A, Frankie Fish and the Sonic Suitcase.
God, I don't care
B,
about
Ninja
Rove.
Kid, From Nerd to Ninja. C, Pearly in the Park. D, Rocky Lobster, Rocky to the Rescue. Rove's publicist will be happy. The answer is D, Rocky Lobster, Rocky to the Rescue. In 2002, Beyonce Knowles told Rove that her Destiny's Child bandmate Kelly Rowland enjoyed what surprising food combination? A, cheese and jam toasted sandwich. B, deep fried tiramisu. C, French fries and ice
Should I
cream.
make some tea?
D, steak with peanut butter.
I'm gonna make some tea. I don't care about Rove.
C, French fries and ice cream.
I've got to carry my charger around. Thanks a lot, guys. Yeah.
Rove has performed which of these behind-the-scenes standing roles? A, writing for the Australian Daily Lebanon. B, animating Kitty and the cat. C, testing
I'm just gonna go get my cup.
D, warming up the audience for Hey Hey Saturday. The answer is C, testing the channel to film tonight.
Today's cup is this. Oh, and there goes my hay fever. Dalek cup. Caramel. Oh, who got kicked off? Was that Bob? I think Bob got kicked off. And so they do like one last chat to him and say what went wrong, and
Do you know who Rove McManus is?
No.
he knows even less about Rove than me.
You know what this means? Out!
Yeah, so they do one last chat and they're like, you know what this means? Out! And then the guy has to leave. And sometimes they do a little dance as they get kicked out. Now it's the people's round. I don't know where these questions come from.
Time starts now. Tic-tac-toe is better known in Australia as noughts and what?
Crosses.
Steve, crosses. Yes. The Russian city once known as Leningrad now has what name? Connor, St. Petersburg. Yes. According to the song The Boogie Woogie Bugle Boy, is of which company? Steve, Company B. Yes. To use the last available option is to scrape the bottom of the what?
Barrel.
Connor, barrel. Yes. Which Australian plays the title role in the ice skating drama I, Tonya? Frank. Margot Robbie. Yes. What's the common term for a domestic cat with a striped or mottled coat? Frank. Tabby. Yes.
The score's getting pretty close.
Frank. Scabby. Yes. Which disease? Scabby is correct. What word means both something inconsequential and a layered dessert? Frank. Trifle. Yes.
I make my tea. Oh, time's up. And so... Oh, Frank scraped in. Evolution person. So Tractor Dude just got kicked off.
I think Frank got in your slipstream and whipped round you there.
Just a little bit.
All right, are you going to go and console yourself by snuggling up to your tractor?
I think I have to.
Any last words?
Well, as the great old Harry Fergus used to say, where's the closest pub?
Yeah, so you sort of get the idea. Now that there's only 2 contestants, they do harder questions on their expert subjects. And it's like 5 rounds and whoever gets the highest score. And then there's tiebreakers. So Shaun the Sheep versus Evolution.
Who gets to take home the limited edition
Big brass mug.
What will you do as a mug if you win, Steve?
Oh my god. So now they're asking, like, what do you do with the mug if you win? And they always make up some kind of dumb story.
I think I might grow sea monkeys in it.
Okay. It's best of 5 penalty shootout style, harder questions on your expert subjects. So it's Frank's knowledge of
So now we get to, like, the really obscure
Steve's
questions.
knowledge of Shaun the Sheep. Let's play. Cards. Frank. In an 1844 letter to botanist Joseph Hooker, Charles Darwin was reluctant to admit to his growing conviction that species change over time, likening this belief to what crime?
So back then it was to go against Christian belief that God created the universe and everything was designed a particular way. It was against the idea of creationism, and it was a crime likened to heresy.
Incorrect.
Oh.
The correct answer was confessing a murder. He
Mm.
was right about why he felt bad about it, but yeah, he felt like it was like confessing a murder. The letter was written 15 years before the publication of Origin of the Species. He didn't want people to link him with Lamarck as his long-necked, hungry giraffes for a load of horseshit. Steve, in the Shaun the Sheep movie, the flock put on human clothing to escape an animal containment officer, with Timmy, the youngest sheep, disguised as what?
A backpack.
Just too quick, sorry. Correct.
Yeah, Shaun the Sheep Man.
It's thought to be a nod to the Shaun backpack that Baby Spice wore.
Oh, I don't know if you can see it. Yeah.
Frank. Due to shared ancestry, Martha's Vineyard in 18th century Massachusetts had an unusually high deaf population, an example of genetic drift commonly known as the what effect?
Genetic drift is one of the mechanisms of evolution, but I've never heard of this effect, so I don't know.
Worth a guess.
The grouping effect?
Incorrect. What's the pattern?
I don't know.
Because I forced you to.
Yeah.
Incorrect. The correct answer is founders effect, as in the founders of America. Yeah. So genetic drift is when traits vary by chance, not because they're an advantage. And the founders effect is when a small group of individuals is isolated from the larger population.
I need to keep making my tea.
Represented. It's like what happens in the ABC. Everyone drifts to the left. Isolated bubble that doesn't get much contact to the outside world.
He's making fun of the ABC for having a left-wing bias, or so goes the theory.
For which creator Nick Park has coined what term?
To do with digits, and he called it thumminess because you could see the thumbprint in the clay. And he didn't want to take the imperfections out. He wanted to leave it.
Correct.
Wow, Shaun the Sheep dude's doing really well.
You feel like you have thumminess?
Yeah, certainly not a few of
Richard Dawkins argued that imperfections in nature are evidence of evolution and not intelligent design, as demonstrated by the circuitous route of which nerve in giraffes?
Oh, I don't know what it's called, but I know what he's talking about.
Oh, Frank. It's the
Frank's got 3 wrong. If Steve gets the next one right, he'll win.
To the brain, but instead of going in a direct path, it goes all the way down to the bottom and then loops back up. Which would have only happened by evolution. If someone intelligent was designing them, they would have gone straight there. But they haven't, because they don't exist.
You just said God doesn't exist, basically, to upset anyone religious watching.
In the episode
Oh dear.
Funny Farmer, the animals set out to frighten a caretaker who has been watching a horror film. What is that film's title?
I don't think I know the answer to this one. I might say, Silence of the Lambs.
Incorrect. The
Damn.
correct answer is Roo.
What?
Yeah, the farmer is also seen watching the same film in Little Sheep of Horrors. But the film title is one of the rare times there are readable words in the series. Normally there aren't. Right, Frank, you need to get this right to stay in. Otherwise, Steve, you're up tonight's Hard Quiz champion. Frank, to demonstrate how quickly bacteria evolved resistance to antibiotics, researchers at Harvard Medical School developed a giant Petri dish known by what acronym?
My hand's getting tired.
I'm just going to have to guess Petri is the acronym because I don't know.
Incorrect. The
Oh.
correct answer is MEGA, Microbial Evolution and Growth Arena, which means Steve, you're up tonight's Hard Quiz champion.
Yeah, Frank lost because there was only one more space to get something right. Steve already had 2, so bye, Frank. He gets to do the sign off. Thanks for playing hard. And they have casting, so if you're in Australia, I'm not sure. I think this is happening in Sydney. I'm not sure, but like you can apply. You just better have something kind of obscure so that people can't steal your answers. I need to pee before Gruan starts. So what do I do with the phone? What do I do with the phone while I'm going to the bathroom? You can look at some pretty colours on the computer screen. So, Gruen is a show about advertising tactics, and they play a lot of TV ads. So, yeah, it's kind of fun. And because I don't watch a lot of commercial television anymore, I haven't seen a lot of the ads. So it's kind of funny to catch up on like what the latest ads are. Woo! Alright, hello to anyone tuning in. This is just like a random whatever. Just put you down there on some pillows, hey? The thing is, I'm pretty sure with Aboriginal culture, you're not even supposed to name the person when they've died, at least if they've died recently. I don't know. But they only talk about the names and like film of people who've died. Okay, so like they have a panel One of the dudes is in Melbourne, so he only appears on a screen.
Something big is coming, which scared the crappy little Vegemite out of me, because that's the most threatening campaign since Corona said it was coming ashore soon.
Oh, you can't see anything. No, I'm sorry.
Announcement. Use it in the kitchen. Use it in the
Oh my god, squeezy Vegemite?
There are no rules. It's really quite easy. Make anything taste like Australia with new Vegemite Squeezy. Ah, can't wait to sit in the car.
I think I like conventional Vegemite, thanks.
One hand on the squeeze
Squeezing it on a... you can't see it, I'm sorry.
I can squeeze it on my hospital food. Vegemite
Ew.
Squeezy is the most exciting announcement since 14 years ago when Marmite released this. Or 20 years ago when Vegemite started coming in a tube,
Ew.
which is kind of squeezy.
Yeah.
Vegemite have been busy little advertisers this year. They got Aussie artist G-Flip to cover their jingle.
Vegemite's as bright can be. We all enjoy our Vegemite for breakfast, lunch.
Spread Vegemite with one end while you badly cut yourself with the other, which they gave away in a contest. Alright, Vegemite, if someone enters a contest because they really want a knife, maybe don't give them a knife. Except this guy. That's how you sell a veggie knife. So who would swallow all this blatant veggie marketing?
Australia's iconic spread has a brand new look. Vegemite now comes in
Oh
a
god, Channel 7.
bottle. Vegemite.
Channel 7 probably got paid.
Commissioned a survey finding that 58% of Aussies fear cross-contamination.
It's 2020. That's not the contamination I'm worried about. At least Brecky TV is finally talking about breakfast. Time to welcome our happy little panelists, Russell Hardcroft, Karen Ferry, Sunita Gloucester, and Todd Sampson.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's really hard to show you what's going on this show.
$152 billion industry. Sorry, that's not right. Tourism was an $152 billion industry, but has lost over $33 billion just this year. In August and September, international arrivals dropped by 99%, and the industry that employs 1 in 13 Australians is struggling to recover. I'd say it's up Ship Creek, but unfortunately Ship Creek is still closed to tourists. So let's go back and find out what the bloody hell happened. It all started at Christmas last year with a campaign aimed at the UK that aired just before a message from the star of the hit series, The Crown. The expensive ad even featured Australia's own Queen.
Oh, Kylie. Oh, God.
A glacial pace. You just need some space. Because negotiating tricky trade deals.
Is this how we're advertising ourselves to the world? Wow. You can see a quokka in Sydney at is it called Sydney Zoo? The one in the city. They've got a quokka. They're like a tiny kangaroo. I don't know how to describe them, and they look like they're always smiling. So when my cousin was here earlier in the year, we went and had a look because she really wanted to see a quokka.
I look good with a beard. That $15 million ad played to almost 6 million Brits. And just days later, everyone was talking about us. Now, what's happening?
Ah! Oh God! Australian bushfires happened right after that ad.
And right now, Australia needs our help.
Yikes. Tourism
Wow.
Australia had to yank the campaign. We couldn't even distract them with this. Sunita. Could they run this ad and campaign again?
Look, I don't think so, Will. This was a story about 2019. So it was about Brexit, it was about cricket, it was about all the uncertainty in the market. And I think the brilliance of the campaign, though, so it wasn't a waste, it ran for as long as it did, is that it attached itself to the Kylie road train of 2019, and it had an outstanding media strategy. ITV
Also, tourism's not going to happen for ages.
special that evening as well. So you saw her in front of the Queen's message, and they teased it beforehand. So she'd come on screen and on social and say, come and share my little message with my quokka in the weeks prior. So it dragged people from the BBC onto ITV, and viewership was up 22%. So 8 million people saw that ad on a cold, wintry afternoon in their John Lewis Christmas jumpers. They felt good about it. They remembered all their friends and family. They started to think about coming to Australia in 12 months' time. That's how long it takes to book a long-haul holiday for them. And it had all the emotional cues. I think researchers call that emotional arousal positive. So it had Kylie, it had bright pictures about Australia, beaches. I think that ad worked, and it absolutely wasn't a waste, but you couldn't run it again.
No. It's going to be a while before Australia opens our borders to, like, the UK, where COVID is that crazy.
Exceptionally white, and considering that 30% of Australians come from overseas, it was surprisingly white. Even the line where they say, we speak your language, is making the assumption that everyone...
But, like, did they make the ad white because they're advertising to Britain?
My primary criticism of it is why. We don't have an awareness issue with the UK. We have a tyranny of distance and cost issue. Now, I know that there are multiple aspects to the campaign. I know that. But it felt like a missed opportunity to address the barrier they have.
I think, like, they're focusing on a time when it feels like for the UK, everything's collapsing. They know that they're going to need to get their passport out to go to Europe, which is where they often go. So this is more of a reminder, like 51% of UK travellers to Australia.
Too much tea in one go.
So it's really just saying, like, you might feel rejected by the rest of the world, but we're here and we're still friends.
Oh shit, there's like been like heaps of comments and I've just like missed them all.
And we're essentially still owned by them.
Steve's
like,
okay, no, I've seen that.
You're
You're welcome, Ceiling.
Really about those
These people know too much.
like
World War II trifle. Sean Chico is. It's hard, I'm confessing and know it's hard. The three lights are back.
Is a miracle lucky country.
It's like that fish nerve that leaks all the way down south and lands in a minute. You should apply and have your subject be yourself. I don't remember anything about myself though.
And get them here in maybe
I
2022.
don't know that last comment.
That opportunity. We need to exploit how fragile the British are and get them on a plane.
What's this about the British being fragile? I missed that.
And in April, Tourism Australia tried to sell a country that you couldn't visit.
A funny thing happened on the way home as we closed our doors and explored smaller worlds. We looked out through the window and realised we missed you. So, look, there's a quokka, roos running amok, whale sharks running quietly, our silence, their bliss. What else is going on? Well, the winds are yet sweeter, the grass is getting greener, Uluru is having a rest.
That's the only time I've heard someone get bored while narrating their own ad.
What else is going on?
Needed more Aussie flavour. Oh, quokka.
Oh no! Vegemite on a quokka!
Everything looks so pristine without lousy tourists ruining it. Karen, is telling tourists they screw up the environment the best way to sell it?
I don't think that's what that is doing. I don't think it's pointing the finger at all. I mean, that's kind of what we expect to see from tourism advertising.
Oh dear.
Like all this spacious nature. And when we get there, we're like, oh, tourists, but we don't realise that we ourselves are tourists and we're part of the problem. I think there's something wrong with human brains, so that's just not inbuilt to recognise our own flaws. What this ad actually is, it's reputation management. So after the bushfires, the photos of scorched landscapes, but also the headlines about how 3 billion animals were killed. To anyone that hasn't been to Australia doesn't know how big we are as an island. They would assume that's the whole country. So this is the
It was kind of funny that people thought all of Australia was on fire.
Does more branding of Australia than Australian tourism.
Australia's like the size of America in terms of land mass.
The feeling that
We
you're
just
going
don't
to
have
be
as many
safe
people.
across Australia, anywhere in Australia. So it's just been spread across the whole nation. And I think that this is hinting at nature healing itself. And COVID, it's done so much bad, but it will provide one good for the future of tourism advertising in Australia, is how we've handled it and how we're seen isolated from the rest of the world. And in many ways, having been able to get on top of it quickly, and we could become a sort of safe haven for travel in people's minds. And this ad indirectly does that, because it's implying nature's healing itself. It has healed itself, and we're here. But I have a pet peeve with koalas. I worked on Tourism Australia when I was...
I don't like koalas.
25 years ago. It was my first account that I worked on. And in almost every ad, we use koalas. I wish that they got a talent fee. Because to me, they seem in this country more like icons and more like symbols than real animals that are on the verge of extinction. And if there was a talent fee associated with all the money made off the back of koalas, they would have no problem fighting.
I'm not really enjoying this episode so much today.
The quokka's coming for the koala's title.
Maybe that's why I didn't watch it last week. Australia's always on fire. Uh-oh, I think someone's home, so I'm just gonna have to go. So yeah, sorry, this has been boring.
As well, and the Northern Share is actually doing what Todd's suggesting, where animals get
Yeah, okay,
talent
bye.
fee, so the advertiser pays the animal talent fee.